Um, I don't know how to or how you can necessarily start um talking about something like this. And I realize probably that, you know, the the thoughts that I have, technically speaking, aren't maybe relevant, but as in like I want to document them because they're about someone who deserves to have all of the love and flowers dedicated to them. This has been like one of the hardest weeks probably in football in a while, and it really changes your perspective on things. Really, for me, I'm just a little old Liverpool fan, and we don't realize, I think, sometimes how much joy is brought to us by people that we don't necessarily know. But to all accounts, if you did know him, then your life was really enriched by that. I think the first thing I want to say, obviously, is, my thoughts, prayers, love is with his peers, with his family, with his friends, people that have played with Diogo Jota or André Silva professionally. It's just an immeasurable amount, I think, of loss or of grief for if you're a family member. This isn't just a footballer. I'm, gonna obviously talk about him to a degree from that perspective. But the most important thing to remember is that beyond that, he's a great father, a great husband, a great son. Both of them were, and man, that's the most tragic thing. This guy got married like a week ago, and more importantly, as well than all of those things, just seemed like a really great guy. I mean, I've seen so many so many videos or posts of, like, talking about things that he's done, like whether it be for talking to a kid, like sending a video message to a kid that was, that was struggling at school, or, Liverpool fans and parents that were struggling with stuff, or being there and being dedicated to the cause of women's football as well. I've seen that he was very active and very supportive there as well. Just an all-round great guy, and it's so weird. Like, I can't. You see the news, and it's awful, and then I see his face. I'm like, oh well, I'm just gonna, like, it can't be real. I'm gonna just see him playing next season and stuff. So I think it is just ultimately just one of the saddest things that I can remember in recent history from a footballing perspective. Like I said, having basically been in the prime kind of his career in terms of achievement, winning the Premier League, being important towards us winning the Premier League, winning the Nations League with Portugal, and then marrying his childhood sweetheart partner. There's nothing that you can genuinely say to really express like how tragic this situation really, really, really is. I mean, I am reading through all of the tributes from Liverpool players. I saw Jordan Henderson was at Anfield today. I mean, I honestly, I don't even know how you process that as a Liverpool player. You just assume, yeah, ins and outs. Players come and go, and join a club and leave a club or whatever. But at the very least, you expect them to walk into training the next day or the next time you go, or be able to talk to them in the group chat that you're in, or send them a message if they've left or whatever. And that's been robbed from these players as well. And I mean, Ibrahim Konate, it was very, very close to Diogo, and the video that he produced was a really, really special tribute to Diogo, because I feel like it showed him off as a person as well as just a footballer, and the achievements that they've had together. I mean, the Andrew Robertson one, I'm going to be so unbelievably honest, I did cry at. I'd kind of just got myself together, and I was working out, how to navigate this. And Andrew Robertson did his tribute, and I cried at it immediately. And it was just basically talking about how they'd been to Cheltenham recently, and it was just very relatable. It wasn't anything to do with who he was as a footballer. It was like little things that you would never know that just meant so much to him, and that it was very vulnerable. Talking about how they joked about him being Irish or Scottish and they called him Diogo Jota and things like that. Those are the things that really show you how much he means to the Liverpool dressing room. It's unbelievably tragic for lots of different reasons. You know, he's only 28, but also being married a week ago and having 3 kids who I really just hope grow up and grow to be old and to understand and know just how much we as a fan base or football as a entity and as a sport love Diogo Jota. And it's not just Liverpool fans, it's Atletico Madrid fans, it's Wolves fans, it's Porto fans as well, who I'm sure all sharing immeasurable grief at the moment, but will utilize this and use this to show just how important he was to us. You know, the scenes outside of Anfield at the moment, it's just a reminder of how precious life is, you know, and it's important. And I don't want to, you know, send everyone into crisis or whatever, but it's like, it's so important to not take tomorrow as for granted, you know, to not, you know, you live your life in the way that you want to live your life. Don't let anyone tell you how to do it. Don't see someone else living their life and assume you've got to do something similar. Just whatever makes you happy, however you live your life, you do that, and make sure that the people around you know that they're loved for and cared for as well. You know, as much and as often as you can, really. And I haven't said it yet because I find it a little bit actually just difficult to say. And again, I can't imagine how difficult and painful it is for people that were close to him. But obviously, rest in peace to himself. And of course, André Silva as well, who is a footballer in his own right. You know, I think he was playing in the 3rd division in Portugal and, you know, showed promise as well, played with Diogo. I believe I saw them both in Porto kits. So I assume he played for them at youth level. But the loss is identical. The loss is equal. I want to ensure that he gets his flowers, I suppose, as well. Everything that goes along with the loss of Diogo goes, you know, with him as well. As I said, it really brings the football community together, and I want to use this, whether it be kind of in the comment section, in responses on socials or whatever, but just to kind of basically develop and form into a celebration, a poster of Diogo Jota's life and the impact and the influence and why we care about him so much. Like I said, it's so probably bizarre and impossible really to explain maybe to someone that isn't a football fan. But like when someone signs for your club and when someone represents the club that you love and when they show as much passion, as much desire, as much, I don't know, just humanity as Diogo did in various different instances in his time at Liverpool. It's not just like he was amazing, he scored loads of goals. Like, he worked hard, he worked tirelessly, and anytime you saw him with his teammates, they were all smiling, laughing, and having a great time. You know, clearly he was someone that brought a lot of energy and a lot of positivity to everybody else that was playing alongside him as well. They become part of the community, they become part of the family of that football club, especially in an area like in Liverpool. And also, like, on top of that, you then have memories that are attached to them, memories that you probably look back on really fondly. So mine, for example, and again, like I said, please in the comment section, feel free to just say whatever the first thing is. If you think of Diogo Jota, like, what is the first thing you think of? Is it a goal that he scored? Is it a moment, you know, you were somewhere and he scored and that memory sticks with you forever? Or were you at a game where he, you know, pulled out a piece of magic, or an interview that you watched with him, or words that he said? But like for me, for example, mine, the last Liverpool game that I actually was at, we played Fulham at the end of last year at Anfield, and we went down to 10 men. Andrew Robertson got sent off. First half, first 20 minutes, and it looked like we were going to be up against it, and we went 2-1 down, and 5 odd minutes to go. You know, we're still under pressure in the title race, and up steps Diogo Jota, And he scores with 5 minutes to go, rescues a point, equalizes. And in the grand significance of like overall life, it's not on paper or from the outside something that might seem like that important. But it's, for me, it's a core memory because of what it creates. Like in that moment, I was with my friend and I turned to him and I jumped on him and hugged him. And then I turned to my right and there was an old guy who must have been like 75 or something sat next to me. And we'd spoken a few times during the game about what was going on. But in that moment, I celebrated like he was my granddad. It was incredible. There was people falling over all over the place. And it was just an incredible moment around other incredible people that care about what you care about and that love the people that you love as well. And that's what it does. That's what football does. It brings people together, and that's what footballers have a hand in. And that's why we care about them so much. Yeah, amazing footballer and just seemingly like just a really, really great person. He deserves to be remembered for the person that he was. I hope all the stories, every single possible positive story about him, or every single possible positive experience that anyone had with him can be shared and can be, you know, and can have a light shone on it, because that's what he deserves in memory of him. So many moments that I associate with happiness for Liverpool in the last 5 years, that Diogo Jota is like, he's there in the picture. He's the reason why it happened. And it's just sad, I suppose, that, you know, this is what I can offer in return. That's all I can offer in return. I feel like I owe him quite a lot. I don't think that's fair trade, to be honest with you. But it's poetic, isn't it, really? He came in 2020, he wore number 20, and he won us number 20. That'll be his number forever. He'll be a Liverpool player forever and a Red forever. Diogo Jota, eternal.